And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What's up, everyone? It is a day three of morning coffee because I'm thinking we're going to do this every single day. That's the hope. That's the thought. That's the thing. Morning conversation with what is going on. Need to use my studio while I can. You know, it's funny. I've been talking about this recently a little bit about like what's going on here and what we're going to do because, you know, Little Warriors Collection coffee. You know, before I get started, I have to tell you, I've been trying this stuff, and I think I talked about it on Monday. But this is called Magic Mind. This stuff's pretty good. Drink this thing. It's like a green shot, and I don't eat any vegetables, so it's kind of like it's got some caffeine, supposed to go good with your coffee. And I have no problem drinking it. I thought at first, like, well, I'll do it for a sponsorship because, you know, who needs sponsors? Everyone. It'd be great to have lots of sponsors. By the way, you should go check out the episode this week that I did with my daughter because it was really good. But that's a whole nother thing. I had to up my podcast audio subscription because I'm doing an episode every single day, which is kind of cool because it raises the stats a little bit. It gets more people listening. It gets those things going a little bit better and flowing. Although there's no downloads today on the podcast side of it. I'm trying to grow it on YouTube. If you are hanging out on TikTok, I've got you over here, you know, just to get in on the conversation. But if you really want to be in the chat room, head over to YouTube, Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley, which is what most people are on, and get in the chat. What's up, Nikki? We've got Nikki in there. I'll answer some questions if we have questions in the chat. Really, this is just me having a conversation with you about what's going on in the morning. You know, that's how I go. I'm doing good. Yesterday we talked about, like, you know, how I'm gonna try and, because the house is kind of because of, you know, my current situation. Like, I don't want to talk a whole lot about it because it is what it is, and I don't want to mess that up. But we're working through a lot of stuff. We're trying to find a way to negotiate. The thing is that we are good, and I know that I'm good, and I just want to do the right thing. So that's a big deal. And that's where it's at. So what we're doing is we're working through how we're going to navigate the next move, because we have to move. But it's a choice that I have. Like I have two choices, right? Like I can either struggle to try and make the house payment, or I can move and be not comfortable, but be able to make the next move. Because those of you who know me know that it's kind of, for me, like it's always been trying to build an empire. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build an empire because I don't want to struggle like my parents did, and I don't want to struggle, period. And I've made some choices in my life that have put me in a position where if I make what I make, then I'm okay. But if I don't, then I'm not. And I don't want to be in that position. I want to be in a position where I am able to make choices and be able to take these risks that I see these people who moved me through. I'm sorry if it paused. It's showing that it's live and it's still going on my end, so we should be okay. But I made it so that I'm able to be not comfortable, but be able to make the move and the right decision. We talked about this on the podcast once before. It's like how you get on this hamster wheel, right? And you're on the hamster wheel and you're running in your circle, and you feel like you're not going anywhere because you're not. You're just going on this wheel that is spinning and spinning and spinning, right? I have two choices. You can stay in that wheel and you can keep going, or you can hop out and get somewhere, right? So the idea is to get somewhere. And I've given a lot of this. We talked on Monday about faith and things like that, and choices and all those things. And the choices that I've made, and I've kind of just like been praying about it, been thinking about it, been having faith in what's going on and what's supposed to happen and how things are working. And I see that it's moving, right? Like I see the direction that it's moving, but I keep getting these little signs that are like, don't do this, don't do that. you're doing this, but you need to do this. Like, I know where it's at. Like, I know the direction. I don't know exactly where it's going to end up, but I have a pretty good idea of what I need to do. So I came to peace with that and started thinking about a lot. Like yesterday I said, we're not giving this place up. Well, I'm not giving it up. I'm going to parlay it into something else. And that's it. Like, this is the wheel. We're in here. We're going to parlay it into something else, and we're going to make it so that it's better, And I appreciate all the support. Like I said, the majority of my following is on TikTok, and we've got a couple people in the TikTok room, which is great, but I'm trying to grow it here on YouTube. And the reason being because there's no single platform. That's why I've got it live on TikTok. There's no single platform that I'm on that I'm not posting a lot of stuff, but the main two are YouTube and TikTok. And TikTok is pushing a lot of TikTok Shop right now. They're not pushing videos out for anyone who's not really promoting that or pushing that because they're trying to grow something. And I understand that, and I can't control that. So the nice thing about YouTube is I can put the long form videos on there, and then I can put the clips on TikTok, and I can put the clips on YouTube, and it is what it is. So trying to get the name out there. But today what I wanted to talk to you about, because I was thinking about how a lot of times we let other people's comments and thoughts and all that stuff mold you into what you are. I was having a good conversation with my father last night talking about business and how it works and the demographic that we're working towards, and like being able to change, right? Because a lot of times, like in business, we're not on the right boat and we're not willing to change how. Sorry, get some coffee here. This is morning coffee, right? I get through this cup and then we'll be done. But how people are not willing to change, like the times are changing, right? As far as like marketing and things like that goes. So like this reaches more people than knocking on someone's door, because they can go to YouTube and they can go look at it, right? They can find it, they can search for it. I'm not doing a very good job about promoting these live ones just because they're a little bit different than what I normally do. But they are going on the podcast and they are getting downloads and people are listening to it, and hopefully it reaches someone who needs to do that. But I think that a lot of times we're afraid to create content like that because what other people will say. And when I first started this, I was a little concerned with that. And then you think about like the bad comments that you get, right? And you care about what other people say and what they think and how it affects you. And it's kind of funny because there are, sorry, I'm looking over here and I can tell right now that I got two mics on, and I don't need two mics on because I did an in-studio interview with my daughter, which was kind of cool. But you can see that, people are doing these things and then you start talking crap about them, right? Like people start looking at you and they start saying, oh, well, a comment that I got yesterday, right? Okay, so here's a comment that I got yesterday, which really pissed me off because number one, it's about my daughter. I don't know why a person had to comment this on Instagram. It's really annoying, and I had to think about it, and I deleted the comment because it pissed me off, because this is my 10-year-old daughter sitting next to me. And I said, well, what does dad tell you about anything you do? Kind of like yesterday's topic where we were talking about doing the best you can no matter what. She goes, just whatever you do, you just need to make sure that you're doing the best you can, whatever amount. And someone on freaking Instagram quoted or posted, what if she wants to be on OnlyFans? And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? This is my 10-year-old daughter. Where do these people come up with this crap? Where do they think that that's okay to talk about a 10-year-old kid? And that's the kind of the world we're in. And like, that bugged me, but that's a different situation than what I'm talking about, because caring about what other people think or say about you when you know what you're doing is right is something that we do, right? We put a lot of weight on comments and things like that and what other people say, especially when it comes from someone who you trust or believe in. Like, it hurts a lot more when it comes from someone who you look up to, right? Like, so if my dad says something to me, it hurts a lot more than if, Joe Schmo from wherever says something, right? And that's the tough part. What is going on, Susan? We're over live on YouTube, and I'm kind of looking over here at TikTok back and forth, but mostly here because we do have a chat going on over here. So if you want to join the chat, I know just move into a different platform, but Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley. So yeah, no, definitely not okay. That whole situation, but this is a different conversation than that. And I deleted the comment and got it off there. And I'm just like, dude, this person is whatever. Didn't even follow me. And that's kind of the way it is. It's like most of the time when people make nasty comments about you, they don't even follow you. They don't know who you are. And what kind of person is looking at a 10-year-old talking about being successful and doing the best thing that you can no matter what and thinking that? Some freaking crazy psycho. So I pulled up some quotes here about, like caring what other people say, because this is things that I think about. Like this morning coffee is me, like where I'm at today, right? So today I'm talking about what will someone else think, right? What will someone else think? So this is, here's a quote right here, and this is like Lao Tzu. I don't know how to say the last name. It's like TZU. But care about what other people think and you will always be their prisoner. Hear that again. Care about what other people think and you will always be their prisoner. So you're thinking about what other people think about you. And if you allow that to affect you and stop you from doing what you're doing, you are their prisoner, right? Like they basically have taken control of you and are allowing you or you're allowing them to control you because you're like, oh, well, I care about what they think. And then I'm not going to be able to do that. So if someone told me, here's my take on this. All right. So if someone told me to care about what other people thought, when I was 18 years old, okay, I graduated from high school. I got a scholarship to play football at Southern Oregon University. And I did not like the school. And I thought I was better than what I was. That was kind of the main reason why I didn't like it, because I was a big kid and I was a good offensive lineman in high school, but I was smaller than a lot of the other people that were playing the position that I was playing. So I was good in high school but I didn't make the right choices of like, well, I'm 6'3", I'm 250 pounds, I could do this. But I didn't think that, I didn't want to be a center. I didn't want to be a guard. I wanted to be a tackle because that's what I was. And I was protecting the blind side of the quarterback, and I had meaning and making people move down the field, all that stuff. Anyway, I thought I was a Pac-10 player, which now it's like Pac-12 or whatever. Like that's how old I am. Which should probably go back down to Pac-10 or something else. Like it's going to disband because there's a bunch of teams leaving. But that's beside the point. So my parents told me that I had to go to football. I had to go play football. I needed to go to college. This is the only way I'm going to be successful. And I went there. I went to like the recruiting weekend, talked to the coaches, kind of had a plan that I was going to do that based on what my parents' decision was. And I talked to my dad last night, and it's still kind of the same thing. Well, I don't want to have to struggle, and I had to work my ass off, and I had to do this, and I had to do that. And I don't think he really realizes what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't think he gets it. Because not only do I work an 8-hour day and go to all these appointments and do all those things that I do, I'm also doing this. And like today, I was thinking about my day today. So I have a meeting with someone at 7 o'clock this morning. I usually do a podcast interview on Wednesday, which I already have one recorded for next week, so I'm not going to do it today. Then I have my workload, so like normal work. Then I come home and I do the motivational music hour with Nikki, who is in the chat room. And then at 8 o'clock, I do One Drink Wednesday with my friend Jay. And tomorrow we have someone looking at the house, so we have to prepare the house for someone to come look at it, So there's a lot of things going on today. Like it's a long processed day, right? These are all the things that I do today, but all he sees is that I go to work and they see the fruits of the labor. They don't understand that that's what you're doing. Well, going and getting a different job where you got to start over or whatever, or doing more, like working your ass off to have to do what you need to do and make ends meet. What's up, April? How's it going? We are live. Thanks for the follow. We are live over here on YouTube, actually. So I'm paying a little bit more attention there. I'm sorry. I wish that TikTok would allow me to stream on TikTok from this platform that I have, but they all like to monopolize the situation. So it's on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn right now, and you can't do TikTok because if you do TikTok, then it won't work. We also got the Donald Trump over on TikTok. It's kind of funny. But they don't allow you to do that. And like, if you sit there and you care about what other people think, it doesn't really matter. So if I listen to him, then that means that I should just go do my job from 9 to 5 every day and not try to do any more than what I'm trying to do. So that's it. You know, like I could be the prisoner of his thoughts. I could be the prisoner of someone else's thoughts who's telling me that I need to do this, this, and this, and then not doing what I really want to do, not following my heart. And also not being happy because I'm doing what someone else's will is not mine, right? And that's why, you know, we talked about faith and things like that. I feel like what someone is showing me, what God is showing me, what other people are telling me kind of dictates what I do. But there's really only one person that it matters to right now, right? And that's me. What can I do to fix my situation or to keep my situation where I want it? And being happy in that situation, I have to be happy for myself. So I need to take, and I've always thought about it, there's kind of a hierarchy, like put your life preserver on first, right? So it's take care of yourself first, then take care of your immediate needs. And what my immediate needs are right now is like making sure that I'm okay, so that I can make sure that my wife is okay, to make sure that my kids are okay. And it's not a material thing. So like this house is something to me that is really nice, but can I survive without something else? I did it for 2 years before. I did it way before then. I survived my whole childhood or my whole adult life with what I had. I survived my childhood with what I had. I mean, I was talking to my parents about their house that we lived in. There was 3 kids. We were all pretty big. My oldest brother was 6'1", you know, and he was like 180 pounds. I mean, weight doesn't really matter, but like we're all big people. So if you're 6'1" and I'm 6'3" and my little brother's 6'4", and we're just all these big kids living in a 3-bedroom house. So like when you talk about bedrooms, there was the master bedroom and the 2 bedrooms that we had. And then everything else was living space, and it was 1,300 square feet. And we survived. We made it, right? We needed a place to put our head, a pillow. So like, it doesn't matter where you put your head down as long as you have a place to do it. And the studio is really cool, right? You can't see what's going on in here because I haven't finished it out, and it's probably not going to get finished, but I'm going to use it while I can. It's cool to have, but I can make this studio. The studio is where I make it. So I'm kind of at that. I'm at peace with that. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it not being where I'm at because I can take everything that I have in here, all this stuff, and I can put it somewhere else. And I can have a podcast, and I can have that, and I can help people understand that they're not alone. They're not going through, you know, we're all going through something. You know, my problem may be magnified because my situation is a little different than yours, but we all have a choice. And that's, I think, the big thing is that we have to realize that whatever that is, if you let other people, if you care about what other people think, you are a prisoner to what they think. So stop letting those other people affect you and make those choices for you. I know that's kind of rambling, and I went back around that, but they told me not to get married. When I got done with high school and I went there and I decided not to take that scholarship, I jumped in my truck and I drove down to my grandmother's house and stayed with her for the summer. And I met this girl who has been my wife for almost 24 years now. And that's the crazy thing is, like, if I would have listened to them and went to college and went and played football at the school that I didn't want to, because that's the only way that they truly saw that I could be successful for a third tuition scholarship that would only cover a third of the tuition. It didn't, and that's the tuition, right? They didn't pay for the place to stay. I'm 8 hours away from wherever I was. Like, I would rather do that on my own terms. And so I went against their will and didn't go to college at first and met this girl and got married. And we've been married for 24 years. I went back to college because I was confused about what I should do. And then I got 2 degrees, and it was like I ended up not even using them. Now, would I not go to college? No, because I think that everything in life is a lesson. And I think that that's what we have to realize, is that we have all these lessons that we can learn and we can go through. I taught, right? I did that. And I didn't like it. And I realized that I needed to do something different. So I went and I started doing this job, and then I started building this confidence in myself that I'm able to do anything no matter what. But if I had to listen to my dad, I'd be like, oh, no, don't do that, because you need a retirement and you need security and you need this and that. And I think that that's the difference between people who make a lot of money. Success isn't about money, but the people who do what they want and fulfill their dreams and follow their goals to do that are the people who are willing to take a little bit of a risk. And that risk was, I went from something secure to something that's not secure, right? Being a commission salesman, being someone who is out there betting on themselves in order to make ends meet. And I made way more money than I ever had, knowing that the chance was that it wasn't there. So it's a tough one, right? It's a tough decision to make, but it was worth it in the long run. And now I know what I want. So I know what I need to do. And it's not easy, and there's still like steps to getting there, and it's not going to be overnight that happens. But if I had listened to other people, where would I be? So this is, I think this is funny. This one's from Tyra Banks, right? Never dull your shine for somebody else. What does that mean? That's like, no matter what it is, like I could sit here and say like, okay, we could talk about my shine, right? Like I like what I'm wearing, right? Doesn't matter. I like it. But if someone came up to me and they said, oh man, you look like crap. That beanie looks stupid, tattooed and successful. What the hell's that? Why are you wearing that crap? You look dumb. You should go put on a button-up shirt and comb your hair and shave your beard, right? I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing who I am. And I've always been that. I've always marched to my own beat. But if I did what someone else told me to do, my shine is me. That's who I am. And by doing what someone else told me to do, it doesn't make me happy. I'm happy with who I am. It doesn't make me happy. So why would I change who I am for other people? Right? So don't change who you are just because someone tells you that you should do that. I got a bunch of them up here. I'm just kind of reading through them, kind of trying to decide which one I want to say. This one is Steve Jobs. Okay. These are all like really important quotes that if you really think about it, in the end, the decision is yours. The choice is yours. This one is by Steve Jobs. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. I'm going to push back on that a little bit because your time is limited, but it's never too late, right? Your time is limited, but it's never too late. So if you sit there, right, and you allow other people to decide for you, your time is limited somewhat, but it's never too late. I'm 42 years old, and I've been talking to my wife about this. I'm 42. We have a 2-year-old. We have a 10-year-old, and we have a lot going on. Just because we don't have a lot of money in retirement and things like that, what is happening, Ken, is in the YouTube. If you guys are over on TikTok right now, come join the conversation over here. Ken's in the gym, which is awesome because he's been working on that. And if you guys haven't followed Ken Conson, you need to, because he's an awesome, inspiring dude. But your time is somewhat limited, but there's also a lot of time, right? And if you listen to Gary Vee, you'll hear him say that you have time. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm 42, right? We have kind of taken all our retirement and put it in certain places, and I'm betting that I'm going to make enough money that I'm going to be able to retire without having to put it in someone else's pocket, right? That's part of betting on yourself, is you're able to bet on yourself so that you can do that. And that's it, like having the faith that you can do that. So at 42, like I'm theoretically, a little over 20 years away from retiring. So I have 20 years to make enough money to be able to retire. That's all there is to it. But there's lots of time, right? That's a lot of time. You think about where you've gone. Like, I've been married 24 years. So I've got another, theoretically 22. But like, if you think like I do, I'm not going to quit working until I have to, because I will be bored and I won't be able to keep going. So that's something to think about, this is going to be the last one because, I'm almost out of coffee. And I don't want to bore you with too many quotes, but I think that these are things to think about. I'm trying to make this go a half hour every day too. So let's see if we can find another one here that I think this is a good one. So if you guys know who Amy Poehler is, she's from Saturday Night Live and Parks and Rec and a couple other things, and like her or not, but this is a good thing to say right here. Okay. Thank God for not being too late. Yeah, it's never too late. There's always something that you can do. It's never too late. So Amy Poehler says, ignore what other people think. Many people aren't even paying attention to you. And I want you to really think about that. I have a friend that I follow on TikTok that I haven't seen on there very often anymore, but TikTok kind of like just takes people away from you. Renee, what's happening? We are live over on YouTube. If you're in the TikTok house, come check it out. Thanks for the likes over there on TikTok. Appreciate it. If you think about it, Dave Connery is the guy's name. He's on Instagram and he was on TikTok a lot. But he's not on there. He's not on there as much. Like I said, TikTok kind of only shows you what they want to show you right now. They're not really, I don't think it's as good as it was 2 years ago. But maybe my content's not worth it. And that's something else too. That'll be awesome, man. I'd appreciate it, Ken. You can hop on here. We can just kind of talk inspiration, things like that. But we also got the other podcast too. We got the whole podcast. So this is Morning Coffee, and we definitely don't have to skip leg day just to join me, but I would appreciate it too. But, Dave was talking about hater math, all right? So there's this thing called hater math where you think about, so if we were to put weight on numbers, right? All right, so I make a post on TikTok. I make a post on here, and I get 1,000 views. So let's say that a view, because there's 1,000 of them, is a positive thing, right? And then I get a negative comment, right? So the 1,000 views, we give a 1 pound rating, and the negative comment, we give 1,000 pound rating, right? It doesn't equal out, right? So we've got 1,000 people or 1,000 good comments and 1 bad comment. And what do? We focus on that 1 bad one. We focus on the 1 bad one instead of going and looking at all the good ones that happen and all those things that we came up with. And so, that's it, man. Like, we think about that. Ken, it is no big deal either way. Like, this is what I'm doing. So, like, I don't know if you've been paying attention. So the last 3 days I have been doing morning coffee, and I'm planning on doing this and making this like a daily series is what the idea is. And if people want to hop on here, if people are up, like you're up right now, because we're both up at the same time, I got no problem letting you in here and hopping in here and talking about what we're going through. And it's just a little bit less, the Shaping Success podcast is really more planned out. This is just me randomly talking. And I say that loosely because Shaping Success isn't really planned out. The planned out thing is the guests, like if I have a guest on there. So I'm down for whatever, but we definitely can talk about that and get that figured out for sure, because I want to have you back on. But with the hater math thing, it's like I said, like we do that, like we camp on the negative and we don't worry about the positive stuff, right? And so you are giving, it's back to that first quote. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're taking this right here, okay? So care about what other people think and you will always be the prisoner. You have become the prisoner because you have given the power to that person who has made that negative comment, right? And it started out like on TikTok, and you can see, like, it's funny. I'm getting these. The cool thing about the on this day in history, right? Like, or not. It's not on this day in history. It's like on this day thing. Is like you can go back and you can kind of see where you're going because they're shooting that video to you. And right now, it's like every day. Like I was trying to grow. I think it's been a year, maybe. Might be 2 years. I don't know. But like I was trying to grow my account and I was finding that I had a lot of support from Idaho people. So there's a lot of these Idaho things that I said, like, if you're in Idaho, do this or blah, 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 whatever. Because Idaho people are really supportive. Like, and it's probably in your community, it's the same thing. And some of my largest videos have got a lot of views because of people from Idaho. But that's what I was doing, right? And I made this post one time and I was talking about, tell me you don't look your age without, like, you take these little things that you see other people are successful with and you try to use it yourself. And I got this video that like had almost 100,000 views on it. Well, there's 100 people telling me, well, you look younger. And then there was like 5 people telling me this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He looks old as hell, blah, 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 blah. And like, I really took it to heart and I became their prisoner. I allowed them to make me feel the way that I felt. And I've gotten to the point where that doesn't matter anymore. Like, if someone comments on something and you don't like it, delete it, move along, go to the good comments, look at those. Those people are supportive of you. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. My coffee cup is empty. My Warriors Collection coffee, my buddy Brian Sales. This is a Thin Blue Line, really good coffee. It's gone. It's gone now. But I do, I got to get on with my day. But remember that today, all right? I'm going to leave you with that. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. I want to tell you to move forward. I've been trying to find my Shaping Success beanie because I want to wear that. If you guys are looking for some gear or anything like that, let me know. Hit me up. I am trying to turn this into an income that, can support me so I can do something that I love to help people and show people to that. But if you want to join the Patreon, it's as little as $3 a month, you can do that. There's links in my bio. You can go to westankersley.com. You can go to shapingsuccessnetwork.com. You can find all that stuff that we're looking for. And hit me up if you're looking for gear. I'm trying to get the website up, and it's been a difficult task, but we will get there. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat place, same bat time, 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 4 o'clock Pacific. So like my Pacific Coast people are probably sleeping still. Have a great day, Renee. Thank you. If you're on TikTok and you want to come join over here, you can come do that. I'm just doing it live on here so people can see me kind of talk, but I can't really interact with them and look here and look there at the same time. It's really cool. I'm talking to the TikTok people right now. It's really cool because on here, I can broadcast to 3 places. On TikTok, I can only broadcast to 1. So, but we'll be back tomorrow. So if you guys want to come hang in and come talk and chat and see what we're talking about tomorrow, because really what it is what I'm feeling that day. It's kind of like a vlog. It's kind of like a diary. It's whatever. I don't care. But hopefully there's a lot of people who are going through the same thing and they need to hear what I have to say. So we're going to keep doing it. Thanks, Nikki and Ken, for joining me on YouTube. There's been a bunch of people in and out on TikTok. Appreciate you all. Come join the YouTube, join the conversation every single day. Like, share, and review. Appreciate it.